My childhood was an interesting one, and the only one I've ever been through. I remember a few fugacious and carefree days in the Philippines, larking around barefooted, climbing guava and mango and papaya and coconut trees. Actually, I don't think papaya trees were all that climbable. Uh, but it was close enough to the equator that there was no definable summer or winter, and therefore there was no fall, no autumn, and September by name only. There was no time that the trees all agreed upon to lose their leaves, and so they took to a rotation of sorts, dropping them off in a fashion that would only ever let us make one tree's worth of a leaf pile at any given moment. And so our leaf pile dives had to be conservative. The temperature hardly ever went below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and if it did, we bundled up in coats and layered our beds with extra sheets. We had pineapple and banana plants in our front yard. Orchids clung to the trees, geckos clung to the walls, and I cling to all these memories of simpler days. Sometimes a cow would wander in from a nearby farm into our yard, and my dad would hit it in the rump with rocks from a slingshot until it left. Termites would construct massive mounds in the dirt, and if these hills were in an inconvenient location, some of the locals would be willing to dig out the termites, simply for the payment of being able to have the queen termite when they found it, deep within its fortress. The queen was invariably a grotesque and uncomfortably large termite, and the natives would usually eat it on the spot. I was small and had a shock of almost white blonde hair. I remember going somewhere once and finding what I thought was a sandbox. As I began to play in the dirt there, in what was probably a long abandoned flower bed, 10 or so of the local Filipino kids gathered around and watched me wordlessly. I don't really remember what happened after that. I'm not sure if they were staring at me because of how strange I looked or how strange I was acting, but regardless, I was probably making a masterpiece in the sand.